रानियों और महारानियों के I am at Bikaner, the royal cremation ground. This ground has witnessed right from establishment of Bikaner to the present day. Bikaner was established in 15th century by Bika on the land given by Nehruji, a local Jat to whom all this land belonged. By joining their names, Bikaji and Nehruji, it became Bikaner. Since then, this city, which came up in the desert of Jungle Desh, this was called as a Jungle Desh at the time. In this vast desert, which is now little changed, particularly after the arrival of the Rajasthan Canal and Ganga Nehar. Ganga Nehar was brought by Maharaja Ganga Singh of Bikaner, and the Rajasthan Canal, an ambitious project of the government of India. And now practically everything is grown wherever this water of canal can be taken for irrigation. All kinds of produces. This barren land, which would have been the floor of sea for a pretty long time in the history of the planet, is rich in coral, gypsum, and the precious silicon. The area around, which was once a sand dunes, now you find big craters, the mining craters for silicon, gypsum, plaster of Paris, and many, many other things. Even his petrol is said to be underneath, which has not been yet explored. This city is on the way to Kandla port, and my house from where I am reporting, it is exactly 999 kilometers. That's from my house, the Kandla port. This passes through Jaisalmer, which is about 300 kilometers from this place. When I studied here, or I shifted here in 1959, it was an absolute desert, and Bikaner was a very small town where everybody knew everyone. The entire city was within the boundary wall, what is called as the Safil of the city, which was made centuries back to help people in the times of famine. It has a fort public park and temples of all caste and creeds. People are loving. They are unparalleled in this desert. When I shifted, the water was salty. Usually we used to take the water collected from rains, the rainwater, for drinking purposes. Then came up the water supply created by the king Ganga Singh, and subsequently the Rajasthan canal, which provided drinking water, not only drinking water, but the irrigation, resulting in vast growth of wheat, peanuts, all sorts of cereals, fruits, everything. You name it, and it's being grown now. So it's a perfect oasis. This land has a very important place in the history of India because the famous Kapil Muni wrote the Sankhya Yoga here only, the place which I have shown you in my last visit, more than a year before. People here are very religious. There is no street or corner where you will not find a temple. But at the same time, they are warriors. Practically, this state was never subjugated to anybody. They had treaties with the Muslims and with the British, but they never fully subjugated to their rule. They had their own judicial system, on currency, on police, and on army. But they had an understanding with the British that they can use all the facilities whenever they want, but they have to demand and request the king of Bikaner. This princely state had its own cremation ground, where all the royals were cremated. At the time, in between there was a Sati pratha. So many royals, they were cremated along with their wives. In those days, probably it was a sign of honor that how many wives have committed sati along with the king. All that is recorded here in this cremation ground. Let us learn about how this sati has started. Because there is lot of rumors, lot of bad stories, lot of wrong stories about this system of sati. The sati came in existence when Lord Shiva and the Shakti were married, because the essence of this word, from where it originates, and the one who feed it and then he destroy it, that is the Shiva, the Shiva, the masculine power, along with Shakti, the female power. So it's a representation of the power of the man, the male power, and the female power. They are simply symbolic deities followed throughout the country, throughout India, right from Kashmir to Kanyakumari. Shiva is simply a power which is maintaining, creating, and destroying this entire cosmos. He is considered to the creator of the cosmos, nourisher of the cosmos, and destroyer of the cosmos. His one cosmic dance is the right from the origin to the death of the cosmos. That's a one cycle of his dance. Shiva and Shakti, they have children, but none of the children of these Shiva and Shakti are born by them. They have not come out of the relationship by Shiva and Shakti. They all are the Manasputra, means created by their mana, their mind. Ganesh ji is one of them, Kartika is another one, and there is one more which is widely worshipped in region of Haryana, the Jangam. Jangam because he was created out of the thigh, and thigh in Sanskrit is known as Jangam. So therefore he is called Jangam. These are his putras, his sons, but all sons not come out of the any male-female relationship. They all are created. Shiva and Shakti has not produced by their union a single thing. A single thing. They themselves are great power. Shakti, since it's born in the form of a living one, and therefore she has to die. But Shiva is neither born nor he will ever die. He is eternal. But Shakti, since it is not eternal, so it has to die, and therefore repeatedly she is reborn, and wherever she is reborn, Shiva gets married to her. Now the question comes from where this Sati system came, Sati belief of Sati started. When this Shakti was in the form of Sati, her name was Sati, and she was daughter of King Daksha, the king of Himalayan region, and she married to Shiva. His father had a yagna in which every known eminent person of this planet was invited, but he excluded Shiva, Lord Shiva. Lord Shiva was not invited by Daksha. So when his wife wanted to attend that yagna, he refused. But she said, "It's my father's house, I have right to go there," and she attended. But she found that there is no place in the yagna for her husband. She became angry with his father, Daksha, and jumped into the yagya Agni, fire, Havan fire, and she thus committed herself the suicide. When Shiva came to know that Shakti has gone, she is dead, she has burned herself, he took her body, and started the cosmic dance. This cosmic dance, while dancing, the several parts of the Sati fell on the different parts of India. There are 51 places where Sati's part have fallen. These 51 places are called as the Shakti Peeths, and every Hindu aspires to visit these 51 Shakti Peeths once in his lifetime. After that, somehow, because when all the other deities, they thought that he has started the cosmic dance, it means the entire world will be destroyed and it will be reconstructed by the Shiva. It was to be stopped, and they got stopped it. Now, since then, this word Sati came. Means the one who died for the insult of her husband, the Shiva. The dedication was so much that she could not tolerate this insult by his own father, and she jumped into the fire of the yagna. From there the Sati word started. And later on, whosoever sacrificed her life for the purpose of her husband, the women were called as the Sati. This was not a regular pratha, a system that every woman was committing suicide after the death of the husband by sitting on the funeral pyre. No, it was never a common thing. It was a symbolic thing happening once in thousands of years. But later on, a period came, particularly the Mughal period, when the Mughals started invading India. Rather, I will not use word Mughal, but Muslims. When the Muslim invaders came to India, and people had seen how Mir Qasim behaved with the Dahir. He not only desecrated his wife, but both of his daughters. And after that, people learned lesson that if the king is defeated, the city is defeated, how the army of the Muslims and the Muslim kings are going to behave with the women. So it was a conscious decision to save their self-respect, to save their progeny, to save their genes, to save themselves from humiliation. That this practice was started by Padmini again at Chittor. When the king got defeated and Muslims started heading towards the Chittor, all the women folk, married one whose husbands had gone to the wars and they were killed, they decided to commit suicide collectively, and they committed. Still, the remnants of that can be seen in Chittor. So they all committed suicide, and then it became a sort of a ritual that whenever the woman, where the man or the city or the king or the army was getting defeated, even the common woman, to save her honor, to save her genetic lineage, to save herself from the humiliation and insult, they decided to kill themselves. Either they died with the body of their husband, and in case the body was not available, they decided to commit sati without body. This was the need of the hour, because in those times only the genetic purity was a thing which was keeping the people united and to fight with the invaders. Why one will die for other unless until he doesn't have and sense that he is my brother, he belongs to the same stock, he shares his gene with him. So every clan particularly those who have been fighting, who were the fighters. They had this sense, a strong sense of genetic purity in them, because that was the only thing which was keeping them highly united and to die together. And therefore, they followed this thing and they permitted this thing to happen, and it was necessary, in my opinion, at that time. Please don't see these things from today's time. You see the things of that time, those centuries, when we were being attacked, we were being humiliated by the invaders. To save themselves from these invaders, we invented this sati, a system which was exemplified by the sati of Shiva at his own father's house, the Daksha. And therefore, no way it requires to be condemned. It is a matter of pride for any Indian. I was brought up by worshipping the sati only. In Bikaner, where I resided, just close by my house, there was a Sati ji ka thada, and I performed salute. I saluted her every morning while going to the school. I was brought up like that. I had great respect. I knew the history, that how that Sati had given us prana for the sake of the honor of the family of that time, which was extremely necessary, because we have been fighting not with the ordinary people, but the people whose mind was abnormal. That still exists, that ideology still exists. It's still fighting in the world. It's still desecrating the world. It was necessary to fight with that evil. And they fought. And I am proud that my ancestors of Bikaner, of any other city, because there is no city in Rajputana or elsewhere where you won't find the royal cremation ground which are full of satis. So we have to respect our ancestors who died for a cause. They did not die without a cause. They did not die. It became only a bad thing when it became a parampara. And this parampara became very late, because these Islamic people, they remained here. I don't say they ruled us, but they remained here to punish us for 700-800 years. And therefore this became a sort of a ritual. It was, and they did not left their habit. They have not left this habit till date. They behave the same way till date. The Palestinian invasion, Hamas invasion of Israel, is the example that they have not changed a little. And therefore it became a ritual. And it continued for some time. Time came when the British came. The British wanted to notice this thing. They, without understanding the past, they never wanted to understand our past, that what pain we have gone through in the hands of the Islamic world. They never glorified that. They never made it known to the people. And therefore, the help of Raja Ram Mohan Rai and Governor Betik, they introduced a ban in 1829, and thus the sati was banned. I am not unhappy that sati has been banned. It was a good thing, and later on there were a lot of movement. But kind of defamation of these women who have sacrificed their lives with a purpose, I never liked. Sometimes when these days sati happens, like Roop Gawars in Rajasthan, lot of ill things, bad things are talked about this sati pratha. I am not against the banning. I appreciate the ban. It should have been banned. It has been very good that British made the law, sati pratha law, in 1829. That's something which we all should welcome. I appreciate the movement of the Ram Mohan Roy, who advocated for the ban of sati. But we have to understand its origin and its need of the time. So, and it has to be evaluated in terms of those times, not of the today's time. So here you see these Chhatris, many of them may have these satis, and all the kings and queens who were cremated here in this ground, who belong to the royal family of Bikaner. Thank you.